Born to a family where both parents are computer science professors and instructors, Larry Page followed the path of his parents to study computer engineering in university and went on to pursue a Ph.D. at Stanford. But somewhere along the line, his supposed dissertation turned into a trillion-dollar company. Stay tuned as I take you through the journey of Larry Page. Hey everyone, and welcome to Booked, where we inspire others with inspiring stories. In today's video, we'll go over the story of Larry Page and his company, Google. But before we go into the details of how Larry Page built a trillion-dollar company from his PhD dissertation, let me give you a little background about Larry Page. Larry Page was born on March 26, 1973, to Victor Page and Gloria, who were very active in the computer education fields. Larry Page's dad earned a PhD in computer science from the University of Michigan, where he also served as a professor, while his mother, Gloria, was a computer program instructor at Lyman Briggs College. At the early age of 6, Larry Page was already obsessed with computers. In an interview with Nicholas Carlson, Larry Page recalls his childhood home filled with all manner of first-generation computer accessories and computer science magazines. The computer science careers of Larry Page's parents rubbed off on their child, as Larry read lots of computer science magazines and articles growing up. Despite being computer science experts, Larry's parents had other ideas for him. They wanted him to learn music. They sent him to a summer music school at Interlochen, Michigan. But in retrospect, Larry Page thinks going to music school played an important role in his work at Google. In an interview, Larry said music helped him develop a high-speed legacy at Google. Because in music, you have to master the art of timing to flow with the rhythm. His music school experience lasted for around 2 months before he ventured into the computer world, just like his parents. Larry developed an interest in computers and business at the early age of 12. He always wanted to invent things, and it didn't take him time before he made his first invention. During his undergraduate studies at the University of Michigan, Larry Page was thinking about how to pursue large posters at an affordable rate with the use of inkjet, so he decided to create one for himself. After graduating from the University of Michigan, he would go on to obtain a master's degree from Stanford University. It was at Stanford that the journey of Google started. It all started in 1995 when Larry Page enrolled at the Stanford grad school. It turned out that Sergey Brin was the person assigned to show him around. Although they disagreed about a lot of things in the initial stages, they soon got along. They had many things in common, and both were sons of academia. They were both intelligent, they were both interested in data, and for Sergey, he was the youngest to get into the PhD program at Stanford at the time. It all started with finding the right topic for their dissertation. Larry had seen the emphasis placed on dissertations by his father, who's a professor, so he didn't just want to get any topic. He made sure to get a topic that was worth it. Today, Larry Page's dissertation idea is now the biggest search engine in the world. Both ComputerWiz would go on to create one of the world's biggest technology companies. From dissertation to Google, Larry Page started showing his brilliance from elementary school. He was the first kid in his school to turn his assignment typed into a word processor. He also started learning how to couple computers and other electronics from his brother. Larry Page had always mentioned that he knew he was going to start a business. It was not until 1995 that he began a journey that would change his life forever. It also changed the way people accessed information on the World Wide Web. In search of how to explore the complexity of the World Wide Web, Larry Page noticed that it was difficult to figure out other pages linking to a web page. Getting encouragement from his supervisor, Larry Page set out to deconstruct the complexity of the World Wide Web. Meanwhile, Sergey Brin found his idea interesting and joined him on the project. The project required a programming skill, but sadly, neither Larry nor Brin could write codes that would power the project. They had to invite their friend, Scott Hassan, who was also a research assistant at the computer lab, to write the code for them. Some people do consider Scott Hassan as the third founder of Google, but Scott left Google even before it was launched to pursue a career in robotics. He founded Willow Garage in 2006. Larry Page would name his project Backrub because of the idea behind it. It took the Google brothers a year to figure the technology out, and the first website they'll try it out on would be on their school website. By 1996, they've launched the idea and changed its name from Backrub to Google, and by 1998, they incorporated Google. Today, the rest they say is history. Having proved their concept, the Google brothers raised their first funding from Sun co-founder Andy Bechtolsheim. and he gave them a check of $100,000. They had been working from their dorm rooms, but with this funding, they finally moved into an office. And in just 2 years, Google grew rapidly to have an index of about 60 million pages. Although there were other similar platforms back then like Yahoo and Excite.com, people started tilting towards Google because of its simplicity and ease of use. One fun thing to note is that in 1999, Larry and Brin wanted to sell Google to Excite.com for $1 million, but the CEO of Excite rejected it. They offered to sell it $750,000, but it was still rejected. 3 years down the line, in 2002, Google has grown bigger and more valuable. Yahoo saw the potential and wanted to buy it for $3 billion, but Google wanted $5 billion. Yahoo turned down the offer, but who lost out? Just 2 years further, in 2004, Google went public at a valuation of $27 billion. Following their IPO, Larry Page sensed that mobile computing was going to be the next big thing and immediately bought Android, a young mobile operating system, without telling Schmidt, who was the CEO of Google. The deal, which is said to be worth around $50 million, has turned out to be a good deal, as Android is today one of the biggest mobile operating systems in the world. Another powerful acquisition by Google would be the acquisition of YouTube. The following year, 2006, Google would make another power move to buy YouTube for $1.6 billion. Now with a market cap close to $1 trillion, I'm sure Larry and Brin would laugh each time they remember how they wanted to throw off the precious company they were building for peanuts. They first started selling ads in the year 2000, offering a rate of $0.05. Today they have sold trillions of ads and generated trillions of dollars in revenue. In 2020 alone, the tech giants generated over $180 billion in revenue, and they're just getting started. Larry served as CEO of Google and later moved to serve as CEO of Alphabet before retiring from active management. But before we round up this video, let's look briefly at Larry's journey at Alphabet. Alphabet mission. As Google continued to wax stronger, it started launching other lines of products. From robotics, anti-aging to autonomous vehicles, operating systems, and so on. To avoid conflicts in shareholding as the company continued to develop new products, Larry and Brin decided it would be in the best interest of Google to restructure the company. In October 2015, Google founded Alphabet and made it a parent company to Google and all other Google subsidiaries. So their new products would be registered under Alphabet and not Google. Larry served as both the first CEO of Google and Alphabet. But in 2019, the Google brothers announced they're stepping away from executive posts and appointed Sundar Pichai as both the CEO of Google and Alphabet. Larry Page and Sergey Brin continue to be the co-founders of Google, holding the most shares in the company and also seats on the board as members. Books recommendation. As is our tradition, we'll share with you books that Larry Page read along his journey, books that changed his life and could change your life too. Make sure to check them out and read them. The Hard Things About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. This book distills the complexities of running a business. In today's world, a lot of people are encouraged to become entrepreneurs, but nobody mentions how difficult it may be to build something worth it. In this book, Ben analyzes the challenges leaders have to face at work. Leveraging his own experience as one of the most respected technocrats in Silicon Valley, Ben shares insights on how to build, manage, invest, or sell technology products. A great tool for entrepreneurs of all stages. Whether you've been in business or looking to start your own company, this book will serve as a toolbox to smash all your entrepreneurship goals. Measure What Matters by John Doerr. Larry Page said he wishes he had access to this book during his teenage years. In this book, well-known venture capitalist John Doerr shares how big companies like Google, Intel, and the likes use objectives and key results to achieve massive results. This book is the structure on which Google was built in 1999. John Doerr happens to have made a $12 million investment in Google, but it didn't just stop at the investment. John Doerr also taught the Google brothers some of the principles he learned during his time as an engineer at Intel. If you're looking to learn about OKRs and goal setting in general, or to discover the building blocks to the success of Google, then this book will be very helpful to you. Surely You Are Joking by Mr. Feynman. Nobel Prize winner Feynman gave it all in this book, and some of the major lessons to take out here is first, be intentionally curious about the world. Question things and make new findings. Don't just settle for what is available, discover the unavailable. Secondly, Feynman explains that for one to truly learn, they have to first of all understand. The learning that is most valuable are the ones that we understand the mechanisms and processes. There are other wonderful lessons in this book. Grab a copy of this book to learn more. A lot of the things we do or surround ourselves have a way of influencing us. What are you surrounded with?